Once the spacesuit suddenly turned white, it meant there was a life-threatening crisis inside. The boy immediately opened his palm to check, and sure enough, a mutated leech was firmly attached to his hand. When he forcefully shook it off, the wound on his hand began to turn black, followed by swelling on his face. His vision became blurry. He quickly called for help from his father, but his father remained calm. He hurriedly took off the first aid kit from his back and fumbled to find the first treatment injection, injecting it into his chest area.
Now the second. ASAP. To your left, Kitai. Left.
I can't feel my hands. Dad, I can't feel my hands.
Press it into the ground.
After successfully injecting the second dose, the boy finally managed to escape the crisis. However, seeing his son sleeping peacefully, his father's face showed no signs of relief. Because, on Earth 1,000 years later, the temperature difference between day and night was extreme. Even plants had activated self-protection mechanisms. If his son couldn't reach a geothermal area before nightfall, there would be no chance of survival. Fortunately, with the spacesuit returning to its original color, the boy finally woke up from his coma. His father finally breathed a sigh of relief and began guiding him towards the geothermal area 10 kilometers away. They soon reached their destination before nightfall. However, when Jaden checked the supplies, he suddenly realized that 2 bottles of the breathing fluid had been damaged during the earlier action. Although this could likely prevent him from reaching the final destination, he stubbornly chose to hide the issue. For both his and his father's lives, he decided to take a gamble, unaware that his father had already noticed. That night, the sky suddenly became filled with lightning, and a torrential downpour began. Jaden could only hide under a large tree, hoping that tomorrow's journey would go smoothly. After all, he was still just a child, and how could he not feel fear in such an unfamiliar environment? Fortunately, his father kept in constant communication with him, which gradually calmed his nerves. Even though his father couldn't be by his side, he endured the pain of his injuries and stayed awake all night, always on the lookout for potential dangers. Early the next morning, Jaden set off immediately, but found a pile of monkey corpses along the way. Judging by the severity of the wounds, there must be a terrifying creature nearby. For safety, Jaden had to change his route, not realizing that this decision would push him into a dead end. Ahead, there was a bottomless abyss. His father had no choice but to expose Jaden's lie. With no other option, Jaden had to comply. According to the computer's display, 1 bottle of breathing fluid would last for a day, but reaching the destination after bypassing the cliff would take at least 3.5 days. Unless he could jump accurately from the cliff into the waterfall below, he would make it in 2 days, just enough time. But this jump was undoubtedly risky. His father had to order the mission to be aborted. But upon hearing this, Jaden became upset. Having witnessed his sister's tragic death with his own eyes had filled him with guilt for many years. Now, with his father severely injured and waiting for him to save him, his father still wanted him to give up. How could he accept that?
What was I supposed to do? What did you want me to do?